Hi guys, I have something really exciting to show you all. It's a new app that I found for iPad and iPhone only. Sorry for the Android users, but hopefully the designers of the app might come up with something for you soon. This app is incredible. I went into a little bit more detail about the app at the end of my previous video, the one regarding cross-stitch websites and apps that might be useful. It's called Frame Builder, and this app will help you to decide on colors and framing options. You can do it in the comfort of your own home without having to drive to the framing store and wasting hours looking through samples. And the beauty of this app is you can see your image virtually framed. As well as that, the app provides a video image so that you can see what it will look like up on the wall in the room that you wish to place it. I can't believe that. Absolutely incredible. You can even take a photo of it when it's placed up on the wall. You can zoom it to size. Absolutely amazing. This app is going to be useful for those of you that want to frame your cross stitches, those of you that are interested in making cards, because obviously you don't have to put a frame on it, but you want a mat board around it. So it will help you choose colours for that. It is also useful for those of you that want to change your designs into wall hangings and things, and you can actually see what colours work best with your design. It's incredible. It's totally customizable. I showed it to my framing shop. They fell in love with it. They've also purchased it. You've got nothing to lose. Seriously, this app is incredible. Okay, you guys are saying enough already, Carolyn. Shut up. Show us the app. So here we go. This app cost me $2.50 from the App Store, $2.50 Australian. I think that's great value for money, and personally, for that sort of money, you have nothing to lose, even if you don't like the app. This app is fantastic for getting framing ideas before going to the actual framing shop. So great for those of you that have to travel a fair distance to get your framing done. You can look at your options in the safety and comfort of your own home. Also, for those of you that aren't interested in framing, you can still use this app for color ideas. So if you're into doing cards or wall hangings, it's great to see what colors coordinate or even contrast with your design. So all round, I think it's very useful for us as a community to really have a play around with our designs and see what we can come up with. So this is what the app looks like in the App Store. Frame Builder. So we'll open this up. Okay, so first thing I like to always point out when I'm demonstrating an app is where the help screen is. And the reason I do that is because as you're watching me use this app, it all makes perfect sense, hopefully. And then you go and purchase the app, and then you open it up and you completely forget everything that I showed you. Trust me, I know, I've done it myself. So the help screen, right down the middle of the screen, right down the bottom, the question mark there. If you click on that, it will come up with a quick start guide, and that will show you very basically, very easily, how to use the sections of the app. The other options along the bottom of the screen, the workshop tool obviously takes you to the workshop area where you're going to do all your editing. Purchasing, these are actual in-app purchases that you can purchase in addition. You don't need these if you don't want them, but there's a measurement tool, web picker tool, custom mats and mouldings tool, and color assistant there, which looks like it's free. So I might have to go and add that to my app. And obviously you can restore all your purchases as well. The info screen tells you a little bit about the designers of the app and those sorts of people that they feel the app is best used for. And then the settings. This will change the background image for your app. So completely customizable. You can also choose a grid for your camera should you wish to use the camera option within the app. Exportation shadow and also to export it to iTunes, which is handy because you can back up everything that you've saved within the app. So we'll go back to the workshop. Now the options we have along the left side here are add a picture, add a frame, add a mat board, and add a writing tool. If you choose this option here, it comes up with just some artistic designs to, you know, if you've got no idea what colours and frames you want for your design, it's just a little fun section where it comes up with the ideas itself. So we have modern, antique, fun, and mine, and they're ones that you can actually save. You can save particular framing and mat board styles that you like, and then just pre-choose them every time. This option up here, the little arrow, allows you to delete certain sections of the frame as you're building it. We have the eye tool down here, which you can view your design without all the extra information around it. It also takes you to the view where you can see it up on the wall in your own home. We have a go backwards button, so you can go backwards a few steps to manually delete processes that you've made. If you go back too far, you can select the forward button, so it takes you forward a step. The backwards button, by the way, you can go backwards 20 times, I believe. This option here is the save function, so you can save to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, to your photo album. There's quite a variety of options there. The love heart is your bookmark option. Your image will come up with a love heart at the top where you can bookmark it. Once you have some bookmarked, you can enter this section and you can view your bookmarks and compare them. And you can have up to 4 bookmarks to compare at a time. And then the rubbish bin is to delete everything that you have done if you just want to start all over again, and choose the rubbish bin for that one. Okay, so we'll go to adding a picture. Now, you have 3 options here. You can import. It gives you the option to go into camera mode, where you can then use the camera on the app and take your photograph, or you can access the album on your device. Personally, I like this idea better. I like to just be able to take the photographs myself previously and then come to this option and then choose them. Photo is a selection of photographs that are already installed on the app. If there's something there that you like and you want to have a play around with framing options, and likewise with illustration. So we're going to go to import, and I'm going to import an album. Sorry, I'm going to import a photo from my album. Okay, so I've selected this photo from my album of my June cottage, taken on the back of my chair. Now, the first thing you'll notice is we have a set of options along the top here. And these are the same options for the framing and the mount board options as well. So the first option is to choose a shape for your design. So we have a rectangle as standard, and then oval, and then a rectangle with the corners cut off, a diamond, a heart, and there are more options there. As you can see, the last several options aren't suitable for the type of design I'm doing, so I'm just going to go back to select the first option. The next option here is to apply a mask. This actually just adds a border effect to your design, so that might be useful if you're looking into card making and you want something quite artistic for that, but for basic framing options for cross stitch, I don't think that's really relevant. The next option is to apply a texture. Now this one again applies a textured look to the actual design. I'm not really sure what you would use that for. Again, I don't really think that's relevant for cross stitch. Oh, and as well as that, you have a slider bar, so you can select the textured size. As you can see, that completely changes the look of it. So I'm going to go back to the basic look there. Next one is the settings tool. So here you can adjust your contrast, saturation and brightness of your image. if you're not happy with how the camera is displaying the colours of your cross stitch. So you can adjust that there. And then colour, if you want to be quite artistic and actually change the colour image of the design, you can do that there. And the last one is the crop tool, which is what I want to use because I don't want to frame with my lounge chair showing in the background. So this one's really easy. It's just a matter of sliding. So you slide down to where you want your framing options to begin. Slide up and then sideways. And I think that will do. I'm happy with that. So we'll click done. Okay, that's my image there. And you'll notice we've started to build a library here on the side. As we add more options, these other spaces will fill up. So next I'm going to go to the framing tool. You don't have to do framing next. You can choose a mat board next if you prefer, but I'm just going to go for the frame next. Now we have 4 different categories here. We have color, which obviously you can choose. You can see the different frames there. This will also remember the last frame design that you have chosen. So that is a default setting. You can then go to profile, choose different profiles for that particular shape of frame. As you can see, there are a lot of options there. So we've got gold trims and silver and all sorts. Then there's double frames, if that's something that you want to look into, and design. So these are for borders. That's where you would choose if you want an artistic border around your cross stitch. So we'll go back to colour, and I'm going to choose, let's go for a light brown. Okay, so instantly you can see what that would look like if I chose to frame that without any mat board. It doesn't look too bad. So from here we have another set of options that have opened up along the top. So we have a texture. So as you can see here, and not all the frames have this option, I don't believe, but we can add a different type of texture to the frame. I'm going to just go back to plain. Then, oh, and you can change the pattern size of that texture too, which obviously that one doesn't have a texture, so I'll show you on here. Okay, so it gives you a bit of an idea. You can choose the colour. So I didn't mention this before, but when you do your first selection of the frame or the mat board, once you've selected the colour, then you can fully customise it after that. So don't worry if that colour that you want to choose isn't there to begin with, because then you can change it later. And this is the section where you do this. So if you know the HTML code for the particular colour you want, you can enter it in there, which I thought was a really good idea. And then you can just basically use this scroll bar here and completely change the colour to whatever you want. Just bear in mind that your picture framing store might not necessarily have the frame you choose in all the colour range. So I might actually just leave that on there. Next is to choose, this is to choose a texture. The other one was a pattern. This is a texture. Okay, so a different look again. Let's stick with that one. And then this is a profile. As you can see, different styles of profile in the wood frame. So just a very plain, basic one to something with a lot more detail. Let's just go for that one, just so that we have something to compare it to, because I have already chosen a couple of designs for this so that we can compare them. Okay, now that's our frame. Let's go for a mat board. So we'll go down here. Oh, sorry, something else I didn't mention. With the frame, you have the width option slider bar at the top here. So you can actually select how wide you want that frame to be. I thought that was a really great tool. So we'll just go a little bit wider. There we go. Okay, so we select the mat board tool down the bottom here. Now again, don't worry if the colour that you want to choose isn't there, because you can customise it once you've selected a colour. So along the bottom here you'll see planes with a whole variety of plain colours, pattern, and then borders. So depending on which option you want to go for there, I'm just going to go for plains. We'll just choose a colour. Let's go red. And that gives you an idea of what it will actually look like. So again, you can choose the width of your mat board. Want something quite wide, want something narrow. Your other options along the top here, you can choose a pattern, you can change the colour, you can add a texture to your mat board. This option's quite handy. This will actually change the width dimensions of the mat board. So if you have an irregular shaped frame that you want to use for your cross stitch, I thought this section was quite handy. So obviously it's all locked because the default setting is to have all four sides of equal width, but you can easily change it by just pressing the padlock there to unlock it, and then you need to unlock whichever one it is you want to change. So we'll change what should we change? We'll change the top and the bottom. So we just press that there, and then you've got the slider bar that you can just play around with, and it gives you an idea of what that looks like. And then the settings, you can choose to have the bevel on or the bevel off, and then the shadow on or the shadow off. So it's really great options there. So I've actually decided, after having a bit of a play around, that I don't want the mat board to look like that, and I want to delete it. So to do that, we just click the arrow up the top here, find where the mat board is, and we just press that red minus and then delete. So that's gone. So now we're going to and press back here to take that back to where it was. So let's go back and actually have a look at these frames again, because I don't like that frame. I'm just going to go for something with a bit of a profile. See, what that's done now is actually added a frame over a frame. So I'm going to go in and delete that previous frame, because we don't want that at all. There we go. That's much better. Looks more like a frame now. Okay, so we'll add a mat board. We'll go for a plain in a red. That'll do. Now we might want to add another mat board. So you can do that by pressing it again, choosing another colour. Let's just go for that. And again, have a look at that and you decide whether you're happy with the thicknesses of those mat boards. If not, you can go in and change any of them by selecting them. So I'm going to change the thickness of the red one just by selecting it and then moving that slider bar till I'm happy with the thickness. It's a little bit sensitive with a stylus. Okay, that'll do. Okay, the last option we have here is the pen tool. So this tool will give you a set of drawings. That's a library that's already on here. You can also add your own, I believe. This would be handy if you're looking at making cards and you want to see what your design looks like on the card, with maybe Merry Christmas down the bottom or something like that. So it gives you a visual idea. Free is the freehand tool, so you can create a watermark. There are a couple that I've done below. And then text, oops. And then text is where, that would be handy if you want to create a plaque or something at the bottom of your frame or on your mat board. To do that's really easy. Just click the text box that you like. You can scale the size down at the top. You can move it to wherever you want it to go. Let's put it there. Click the T there so that you can type in your text. So select the box and your keyboard will come up, and we'll just, sorry, drop my phone. Type the name in there. And as you can see, my text is there down the bottom. Now you have various options below that, so you can choose your different font and it automatically changes that. You can choose whether to have the white label around it or not. So you can set that on or off. As you can see, as I select some of these things, some of the options disappear. You can choose to have a border around your label or not. This one has the shadow around the lettering or not. And this one, I have no idea what that does. And that one just moved it, I think. And then along the top is the color palette, so you can choose the color for your text. Again, HTML code, or you can do it all manually. And the settings, various options to flip and rotate and change the actual placement of your text. And I think this is actually handy for the drawing tool. If we go back to that, let's just delete this. Going to drawings, there's a really pretty scroll here. And we can choose that and put this down here. So you can move that down there. You can change the scale of it. So if you go for something like that, if you go into your settings, you can actually duplicate it, you can flip it, so then you have one on the top and one on the bottom. So lots of options to really play around with it with your creativity. So as I mentioned before, this sidebar enables you to delete anything that you've decided to change. You can go back in and recustomize anything just by selecting it. The little icon down here comes up with different templates. So if you are not sure what frame or mat board or anything you want to choose, you can just select your design and then choose one of these, and it will come up with some fun ideas. So as you can see, there's modern, and there's my little design in the middle, and there's all different framing options. Antique and fun. So it's a little bit to play around with there. And then mine, so you can actually choose your favorite options and save it as a template to use for future designs. Right, so the backwards tool, as I mentioned before, you can go back and erase something that you've previously done, and you can go back 20 steps. So we'll erase those scrolls. And that's gone. You can also, if you're not happy with the placement of your design in your frame, you can simply select it and move it. As I said, this one is just sharing, so you can print it, you can save it as a template, save it to camera roll, you can email it to someone, save it on social media. And then we have the bookmark. So you can see when I moved that it actually moved the mat board there. There we go, that's better. All right, so if we bookmark this, it tells me we've successfully saved it to the bookmarks. Now, if you select the bookmark option down the bottom here, it will compare all your bookmarks. So you can choose which design you like the best. And as you can see, I've already done a couple there before. And from that option, you can then decide whether you want to delete one by giving it a thumbs down or selecting one by giving it the thumbs up. And a warning that this will replace the current one, that's fine. And there's another type of frame and mat board for this particular design, which is really lovely. So the last option I want to show you is the eye tool. Now from here we can save the image. You can also scale the image. So using your fingers, zooming in and out. By selecting this, you can change it as your background image on your device. And this one enables you to see what it will look like up on the wall of your room, which I thought is really incredible. So we select that. And it takes it to the camera view, which I'm now going to move. And all you simply do is press the camera button at the bottom to take the photo. So then it tells me that the image has been saved to my library, and this is it here. So prior to taking this photo, you have the option to obviously making the picture larger or smaller, because the app doesn't know how big your project is. So that's up to you when you're trying it up against the wall to size it as per how you think it would fit on that wall. But it's a great option because you can then choose your frame to match your door trim, for example, or your furniture in the room or your curtains. And I really, really love that. I think that's really ingenious to be able to see what your design looks like framed and up on the wall in your room. So I hope you found this app useful and helpful. I hope all of you go out and buy it because I really think it's a lot of fun and it just gives you so many ideas on how to finish off these cross-stitch projects. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below and I will answer them as soon as possible. And I thank you very much for watching this tutorial today. Have a great day, guys. Bye.